And Shanks is like, it was a good price to pay. And it's just so sweet. Like, oh my gosh. Like, you guys, Shanks is so amazing. Hey guys, welcome to the channel. I'm Jess. And I am actually here by myself today because I am going to be doing a segment here on this channel that is specifically dedicated to my One Piece journey. And as some of you may know who follow our anime reaction channel, you might know that we have started watching the anime, and that has been so fun so far. We have a couple episodes recorded already. We are going to try to catch up with the anime, but in the meantime, I also wanted to read the manga. And I am so excited. I've actually read the first 2 chapters, and today I'm just going to talk about the first chapter. But I thought it would be fun to maybe have you guys join me along this journey and follow me reading the manga. And I know that it's just the show that had been on that's going to be on hiatus, but either way, I thought it would be really fun, and just watching the show has just got me really excited about this world, and I must know more. I need more. And so I was thinking that it might be really fun if I were to actually read the manga in addition to us watching and reacting to the show, which we are doing, which I'm super excited about that. But I have the Shonen app on my iPad and I pay the subscription fee, and really for like the price, it seems totally worth it because you get access to so many chapters of so many different mangas. That's how I actually finished reading all of Jujutsu Kaisen, was on the Shonen app, because we didn't collect all of the physical manga editions yet, and not all of them are released yet, but I've finished that series. And so one of the mangas that I've been wanting to start was One Piece, and then another manga that I have been wanting to start is also Attack on Titan, and another one is Dragon Ball. And not Dragon Ball Z, but Dragon Ball when Goku is a kid. So I'm really excited to hopefully do some more videos on this channel, just taking you guys on my journey through reading different mangas. So I'm super excited that you're here and that you're watching, and I hope you will stick around. The first thing that I noticed about the manga is that it starts out pretty much where the anime starts out, with like the opening with Goldie Roger and showing us that scene. And then that's where I think it differs from the actual like anime, because in the show it shows Luffy when he's already grown up, and in the manga we actually get to see Luffy when he's a little boy. And oh my god, he is so cute. I love Luffy so much. Like right from the beginning, like it's so clear to see that Luffy has always had this personality, and I just love him. I love the kind of character that he is, and like he is just so fun. He's so in touch with what he wants, even from such a young age. Like he wants to be a pirate and he believes it, and he is just so certain already that he is going to do this. And I absolutely admire that about him. Like, I think that's one of my favorite traits, is that Luffy is a dreamer, but not only that, he's like a dreamer who actually puts things into action to make things happen. You know, like he wants something and he's gonna go out and get it and not make excuses. So the story starts out with this pirate ship coming into the shore and landing in a small harbor village. And this village seems like it's the village that Luffy lives in. And it looks like they are going to make this their base for a while. So Luffy's still a child, and these pirates are coming in, and Luffy is just so spunky, and he is just certain that he's going to be a pirate. And I can't get over it. He is so adorable, and he just like has so much charisma, and I love it. But the pirates, like obviously they're always laughing and having fun and joking around, and you know, they're like, Luffy, there's no way you're going to be a pirate. You can't even swim. You are literally going to be an anchor. And what use is that for a pirate? But Luffy does not take that as like words of discouragement. He's like even more put in like, no, I'm going to do this and I'm going to be a pirate. So I love Luffy. But you see Shanks in the story, and he's the pirate captain, red-haired Shanks. and he looks really cool. And, you know, right off the bat, like I have seen some of the anime, so obviously I can tell that the hat that Shanks is wearing is the hat that Luffy then wears in the future when he's older. So we see that Luffy is already obsessed with becoming a pirate, and even though he can't swim, he doesn't care because he is a strong fighter. And he has a punch as powerful as a pistol. And like, I think it's before even he eats that fruit, like he's already pretty tough, and just I think his confidence carries him a long way. Obviously, Luffy is still a child, and Shanks is like, sorry, buddy, you're still too young to be a pirate. Luffy doesn't want to take and accept this answer. Like, he really wants to be a part of this pirate crew regardless of his age. But Shanks is like, you're just too young. You're just a kid. Like, come on, you've got to wait a while. The next important thing that I think is like a vital piece of information to give to Luffy is when one of the crew members says to Luffy, being a pirate isn't all fun and games, you know. And he has a point, because the pirates aren't just out here just having a blast, laughing with their friends, drinking, and, you know, just living life carefree. Like, there's a lot of things that they're going to encounter, and a lot of, like, other bad pirates, and probably shit that hits the fan that they're gonna have to deal with. So yes, it looks like that it will be fun and it's something that you want to be a part of, there are the downsides and there are the struggles of being a pirate. So I think that was a good like word of encouragement to Luffy just to keep in mind. And I think that'll help Luffy grow in his character development. I think that beyond like Shanks saying that he's young, I think that, you know, Luffy, like he's still like, yes, he is young, but he's also still very naive because of his age, and does not yet know that across the waters there's going to be tremendous trials and strife along the way. So I think that that's going to be an important piece to this story. So all things seem like they're good and dandy, and then the mountain bandits show up, and it doesn't look good. These mountain bandits come in and they're wanting to drink the place up, basically. And Shanks is like, I guess we drank up all the liquor. And, you know, he did offer him one of the last bottles, but then the freaking guy smashes it and is just being a total dickwad. So the mountain bandit comes in saying he's worth 8 million berries and he's a wanted man, which I'm sure many pirates are wanted men, but it seems like the mountain bandits are, you know, a vicious little crew. So then the Great Mountain Bandits come in, and the captain of this crew comes in saying, I'm worth 8 million berries. And he's a wanted man and that he's killed so many people. And, you know, just trying to incite fear among these people and get what he wants, and just being a dick for the general purpose of being a dick. Then the shit breaks loose, and a little brawl is starting up into this bar. So the mountain bandits obviously want to start a fight and, you know, get everybody emotional. Shanks is not having it, and he doesn't want to give in to this nonsense. And so the mountain bandit, he's walking out the door and he's saying, let's go find another village. So then they go and see if the captain is okay. And they were laughing, the crew is laughing at him, saying he got you good. And Luffy is, of course, like, you're just gonna take that? Like, you're just gonna let him do that? Like, he's, like, so mad that Shanks made himself look weak in front of this guy. Like, why didn't you fight back? Why didn't you do something? You're just gonna let them laugh about it and disgrace you? And Shanks is just like, you will understand when you grow up. So that just shows us, you know, Luffy is still naive and he has some growing up to do, and he has a lot of life lessons to still learn ahead of him. And one of those lessons being that we're seeing here already is you can't give in to every fight. You know, sometimes you have to know when to stand down and when you need to stand your ground and fight back. And for this moment, in this situation, this was a time where Shanks was not worried and he was not giving in to the foolishness of the mountain bandits. So then the cool part is, as Luffy's like walking, they notice that his arm is stretching and realize that he is a rubber boy. And they're asking him, you didn't eat this fruit, did you? And I love how the pirate, like, shows a picture of the actual fruit. Like, you didn't eat this, did you? But, you know, Luffy's a kid, and it's actually funny because in the anime, they show him just eating all the fruit on the ship after he gets out of the barrel because he's starving. And, you know, he's hungry, okay? Like, he's not going to pay attention to what it is. And he's from this little village town, so I don't think that he might have knowledge. I don't know. It seems to me like he may not have had the knowledge of these devil fruits and what they could do. But anyways, Luffy ate it for dessert and now he can stretch like a rubber band. So that is so fun. So it's called a gum fruit. Then they go on saying the fruit of the devil, it's one of the secret treasures of the sea. Honestly, like, I think this is a really cool aspect of the anime, is that there's these different fruits that can give these people different powers. And I just think it's so fun. And like, it's such a quirky thing to be able to stretch your arms and everything. I'm so excited for for Luffy to use these newfound abilities. So then Shanks' crew is getting ready to leave and everything, and they tell us that the pirate crew is already leaving and he's not going to become a pirate now. And the mayor is like, Luffy, you are not becoming a pirate. You are going to disgrace this town. But to me, like, it seems like already, like, Luffy doesn't, I don't know. I see his face and I'm like, come on, does he look like your typical pirate? So I think he's going to be a different sort of pirate, which I've seen some of the anime, so I can tell that he's not like an overtly like bad character at all. Like, I really love Luffy's character and he seems very good and genuine hearted. So then we see Luffy is in this bar talking with the barmaid and she's like, you must be missing them. And Luffy's like, absolutely not. They made themselves look weak. They didn't fight back. Like, why would I want to miss those characters? But he really feels like he's misjudged that group. But again, Luffy's so young that he just didn't get the point of why Shanks did what he did and why those pirates did not fight back. You know, in life, you're going to come across people that it's not worth fighting them. And so Luffy hasn't learned that yet. I think what he'll need to learn is when the time to step in actually is. Okay. So now, unfortunately, this mountain bandit crew is back in this village to cause more mayhem. So Luffy goes off and picks a fight with these mountain bandits and decides that he's going to fight against them. But when they start pummeling him, they realize that this is not doing anything. So they're like, oh, well, what if we go and take him and sell him? And the mayor comes in and wants them to let the boy go. You know, obviously he's a child, so the mayor obviously doesn't want him to hurt Luffy. This mountain bandit is just very entitled. He's like, he did the unfathomable and attacked me, and come on, buddy, get over yourself, please. And then, as this is going on, Shanks comes back and he's got his cape and he comes walking in and he's like, oh, it's you guys again. And Luffy said, I thought your punch was powerful as a pistol, because Luffy obviously was talking himself up and that he has been gaining strength and he's powerful. And unfortunately, Luffy has not grown the way he may have perceived himself to have grown. So Shanks comes in, and I think now he is going to get involved in this circumstance, because I don't think Shanks is going to let this little boy die. And Shanks comes in and he steps in. The guy points a pistol at his head and is like, you don't want to do that. It's not safe. And then he proves him his point. So Shanks is like, you can laugh at me, you can throw this stuff on me, but one thing you're not about to do is hurt one of my friends. And so now Shanks looks angry and he is going to step in to this fight. And obviously the mountain bandit is just laughing and disregarding him, like, oh, please, like, you're not gonna do anything. And I just feel like this mountain bandit is definitely going to be proven wrong. Shanks and his crew are now fighting these other mountain bandit pirates, and it is not looking good for them. As you can see, most of them are lying on the battleground now, and they're like, if you're going to fight us, you need to bring a battleship. And it's clear to see that Shanks is a pretty powerful pirate and his crew are all pretty strong and worthy like more than worthy opponents for this. And now the Mountain Bandit, instead of looking all cocky and everything like he was, now he is fearful, and I think he's scared shitless. So I think, like, I'm so glad that Shanks came in here and did this. Meanwhile, while Shanks' crew is doing this, Luffy's seeing, and he's got these big eyes, and he's so excited because he's like, wow, like, Shanks is powerful. And, like, he had it in his head that Shanks was just, like, this weak man who was just letting these people walk all over him. But right here, we're seeing that that is proven wrong. And, you know, Shanks is stepping in for a cause now. Unfortunately, the Mountain Bandit captain does take Luffy out onto this little dinghy-looking boat. And he's like, I've already killed 56 people. You're just, like, one more to add to that list. And so he kicks Luffy off of the ship, and then he goes into this water, and this massive crocodile thing comes up out of the water, and, like, this is absolutely terrifying, you guys. Like, this scene was terrifying. I'm like, oh my god, someone better come in and get Luffy now. So Shanks comes, and Shanks saves him, and tells this big crocodile to get the hell out of here. So now, Shanks obviously has saved Luffy, and it looks like they're all on the clear. And then, oh my god, and then the worst thing happens. Shanks's arm. Oh my god. That really made me so sad. But also, like, I'm so glad he was able to save him. But I felt so bad that he got his arm ripped off. And Luffy's like, but Shanks, your arm. And Shanks is like, it was a good price to pay. And it's just so sweet. Like, oh my gosh. Like, you guys, Shanks is so amazing. Okay, 1 second. I'm like tearing up. Oh my god. Okay. But I think that this was such a powerful moment, and I think that this may be a point where Luffy might see that Shanks stepping in, like, he did it for a cause. He did it to save a friend, and Luffy is someone that he was worth fighting for. And this was a situation where he needed to step in and put in a sacrifice. And that sometimes for your friends, So sometimes for your friends, you sacrifice for them, or you sacrifice for your family. And you guys, like, I just think it was just a very emotional scene. Like, this is a crazy first chapter. And, like, after this point, Luffy really looks up to him, and Shanks becomes, like, an idol figure to him, and he wants to be just like him. Like, Luffy understands now why Shanks wasn't planning to take him out to sea, that he was not yet strong enough. And so now, like, Luffy obviously wants to do everything in his power to become strong enough so that he can be a pirate. So at this point, Shanks and Luffy are going to go their separate ways for now. Shanks's crew is finally leaving, and Luffy, you know, he vows to be just like him, and he's going to be a pirate, and he's going to have a crew that is better than Shanks's crew. I just think that this gives you a lot of hope and excitement for what's to come, because this isn't like, it feels sad that they're going to be taking their different paths, but I think it gives us so much hope that Luffy is going to grow, and now he knows that he needs to become strong in more ways than one so that he can be a better pirate and have a better crew than Shanks's crew. I think from, like, what I've seen already in the anime, and from, you know, what I've read now, it seems that Luffy is looking for a certain type of person to join his crew. And I think that that's important going forward, is that who he wants to be a part of his ship and be a part of his crew is very intentional. I really love that. And I'm so excited about this series. Yeah, this was a really strong opening to a manga, and I really enjoyed it. It was a little different than that first episode of the show, but I think it was a fantastic first chapter for a manga. And this one seems longer than the next chapter because chapter 2 was like half the pages, but this first one was a little longer, but it went by really fast. Like I was reading through this like pretty quick, that like I was just so engaged in this whole story. Even in these first, how many pages? 54, the first 54 pages, like I am invested. I can't wait to see Luffy's travels and where he goes, and you know, him getting the crew of his dreams and becoming more powerful. Like I think Luffy's going to be a really strong character when he grows up. It leaves off with Luffy saying he's going to become king of the pirates, and then Shanks passing on his hat, and he says, "Do me a favor, keep this hat safe for me." And you guys, it's just so sweet. Like that's such a good moment, you guys. Like it makes me emotional because it's just, I love the passing down of it. And it's just so cool. And Luffy's like, this means so much to me. And it does, because he sees how strong the Shanks is. And he wants to be just like him. And so Shanks is like, promise me that you'll give me the hat back when you become a great pirate. And that in the news, like talking to himself, that he reminds me of me when I was a kid. So I just think it's really great that like he sees himself in Luffy. Like we have something to look forward to in Luffy. And then it tells us Luffy's adventure begins 10 years in this spot. And so 10 years later, ta-da! And Luffy has a ship, and he is on his journey, and he is making out to become the king of the pirates. And the mayor is like, the town villager was like, and if he does become a pirate, he's going to bring so much shame to this town. But in a way, like, it also looks like they are kind of proud of him in a way. Like, they don't look angry. Like, they all look happy. They're smiling in this particular frame. And it just feels very hopeful. Luffy's setting out to sea, and then we see him up by this monster. I presume that it's the same one that he came across all those years ago, and sees him again, so because he says our local sea monster. And then it's so cool because you see that Luffy then is like, here's a move that I've been practicing since the last time I met, and he says gum gum pistol, and then he does his move. Wait, if I show it like this, it'll show you guys the whole thing. But I love this panel. I can't wait to see more of Luffy's moves that he has, and what he's going to do to all these fearsome foes that I know he's going to come across on his journey to becoming the king of the pirates. So then on the last page, on the final panel, you see that there's Shanks, the first mate, and Luffy as a boy. And I'm just so excited to continue this journey, and I'm so glad that I started the manga because it has me so incredibly excited about this whole world and, you know, what Luffy is going to get into next, especially as he goes searching for his crew members and, you know, travels the world. So I am so excited for this. I've said it so much, but I am so invested in this, and it's still early on, so I just can't imagine by the time that I get like even halfway through this series how I'm going to feel about this, because like I truly see why this manga and the anime is so hyped. I see why so many people love it and why it's like one of the most massive fan bases ever. Like this, wow. It just seems epic. Like this is the epic fantasy of my dreams, and I am here for it, and I cannot wait to continue this journey with all of you guys. And I really hope that you like this, and I hope you'll stick around so that you can continue watching my reactions to the One Piece manga. So until next time, thank you so much for watching.